Hey, hi, hello. I have things to tell you already this week. So it's Sunday evening. I am about to wrap up for the evening, kind of chill out, go to bed, do my thing, And I've been renovating all of this weekend for lots of different things, mostly this office and then some downstairs. Renovations are almost finished. But what that means is I've been doing some audiobook listening, especially today. So this morning I started Dark Matter, and I know you can't see the screen very well, but I'm 81% through it right now, which for you probably means, wow, Amanda has read 4 hours of Dark Matter. That's fantastic. She must be loving the book. This was on her 5-star predictions that she was super excited to read. The book is very meh. I'm not loving it. It's kind of background noise at this point. I'm continuing to listen because I'm curious how it's gonna end, but I'm not in love with this book. This is the author who wrote Recursion, which I loved, made it on my favorites of the year list, gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, made me so excited to be checking out Dark Matter because I've heard such good things about this book, but I'm not loving it. I'm trying to figure out what it is that's making me not love this book, whereas I loved Recursion, and I kind of think it boils down to the characters. I also do think it boils down to this plot isn't like as well developed and thought out as Recursion, and I think it also kind of boils down to Recursion was such a cool idea, and Dark Matter is a cool idea, but I feel like there wasn't as much reality behind it, if that makes sense. Like, I am more likely to believe Recursion happening than Dark Matter, but neither of them are happening. Dark Matter, we're following this, oh my god, what's his name? Is his name Josh? Jack? Let's see what my phone says. Jason. We're following this guy named Jason, and he is knocked out one day and wakes up in an alternate universe where his wife and his son do not exist, and the story is kind of him trying to figure out how he can get back to them. And I'm not going to spoil anything else besides that, but there's a lot of stuff that he learns, a lot of crazy things happen along the way. I honest to God don't know why I'm not loving this book, but I can't quite put my finger on it. But I figured if I didn't come and talk to you guys now about it, I have an hour left in the audiobook, and I'm going to be finishing it up this evening because it's only 7 p.m. and I'm probably going to go for a walk, which will be at least 30 minutes, and then I would come to you all and be like, I finished an entire book and I don't have thoughts about it. This is how my board is looking right now. I have made 1, 2, 3 bingos. I am reading Dark Matter on TBR before 2021. I know you guys can't see everything super well. And I'm also reading these 3 books currently, so they'll be much more important as this week goes on. I'm reading Song of the Forever Rains, which I hope to finish this week. I'm reading Oathbringer, which I hope to just make a decent dent into this week, maybe get to the 50% mark. And I'm reading The Shadows of What Was Lost. I'd love to finish it, but something's happening in my brain where I'm having a hard time focusing, so I'm not gonna, worry about it too much. I finished Dark Matter. I haven't marathoned a book like that in so long. Part of me majorly regrets it. Part of me feels really good for reading a whole entire book in one day. I rated it 3 out of 5 stars. I felt very meh about the book the entire time. I did mean to look up whether or not, if this came before Recursion, because I know that this wasn't his first book. Dark Matter came out in 2016, and it does have a lower average rating on Goodreads. And Recursion came out in 2019. See, I feel like I could feel that the writing was better in Recursion. So yes, I would read other books in the future written by Blake Crouch. No, Dark Matter was not a win for me. 1 minute. So today I have been doing a decent amount of reading. I was at page 60 in The Shadows of What Was Lost when I woke up this morning, and as of right now I am at page 185. I'm gonna read one more chapter before I switch books this evening, which will put me at page 205, I feel great about it. I absolutely love this book. I don't even really know totally how to talk about it. It is a reread for me. I'm reading it with my book club this month, and then we're going to be continuing on with book 2 and 3, which I have also read and also loved. So I should be able to say more things about it, but I can't for some reason. In this book, we're following this boy named Davin, and he seems to be an augur, which is this like magic wielding human. Now, like 40-ish years ago, the augurs were in power and all the magic wielding people were kind of pushed down into slavery because the non-magic wielding people did not like them. Now, there are two different types. So the augurs were all killed off, and then the gifted were put into slavery. The gifted are still alive today and still kind of in slavery. And then the augurs, anyone who is suspected of being one, is killed. Davian has not been suspected yet. They think he's gifted, so he's kind of in slavery, but he's living out his days hiding the fact that he's an augur. He's at this magical school where at a certain age you take this test, and if you fail the test, you're turned into a shadow, which is a being that has no magical ability, and you're basically even worse of a slave. And if you do pass, you're allowed to use your gifts, but there are these tenets in place that are keeping the magical people from being able to use their gifts to the fullest extent. So him and his friend were sneak out one night with this teacher's kind of blessing, telling them that they need to go find this thing. He doesn't tell them what it is or what's going on or anything like that, but he basically is like, it's the only way I'm going to save your life because Davian, you're not going to pass this test. And let's see what else I can say. I can't say anything about Asha, but she's doing her own cool thing. And we find that there is a young man off. I thought it was in the east, but according to the back of the book, he's in the west, who seems to have magical abilities awoken, but he doesn't seem to be tied to the tenets like all of the other magical people. So I love this series. If you're a fan of epic fantasy, this is a good one to go check out. It's a trilogy. It's all out. There is going to be a spin-off where some of the characters in this book and in book 2 and book 3 didn't get as much page time as they deserved because the author realized how much time he really needed to tell in order to tell their stories. So he's writing a whole entire book series about them during this. I think it's during book 2 actually. Besides getting through that wonderfulness, I am continuing on with my reread of Oathbringer. I'm really loving it. I made it to 25% today. I read 10% and I got to the first interlude. So big things are happening, but I'm not really going to tell you what because this is the third book in the Stormlight Archives. And as it is a reread for me, I also know what's going to be happening. Wow, I didn't realize I was rereading 2 books at the same time. I love Stormlight Archives. I personally think that they're all way better upon reread. I really loved rereading The Way of Kings. It was so good. And then when I reread Words of Radiance was also fantastic, and I ended up rating it higher than I did the first time. So Oathbringer so far I'm enjoying more than the first time. I think a lot of that is because I know what's happening. I'm seeing the connection that things are having to make between them. Like I'm seeing the foreshadowing more so this time, and I'm seeing how different characters are important in different ways upon reread. If you ever have the ability to reread this series, 1000% I do recommend. It is so good to reread, and it's not boring and it's not stale. And it's just, I feel like I'm enjoying it so much more this time. Once I finish that final chapter of The Shadows of What Were Lost, I am going to be trying to read some of Song of the Forever Rains. I'm getting pretty tired, but I think I can make a few chapters of this book. I'm really enjoying this too, but I just haven't had enough time to like really sit down and dedicate as much time to it as I would like. I'm on page 120 and I'm hoping to finish this week. It's going to be my main focus after I do my percent of pages that I need to do in The Shadows of What Was Lost every single day. So this is the story of this girl, but it's really about these 3 sisters, and the main girl that we are following, her voice kills, and she is kind of learning how to, before the story even starts, she's learned how to control her voice, and she's learned how to talk and communicate with people without killing them. But where we are at is her 19th birthday, and she is starting to go off and do her own missions and fight some crime and do some badass things. And it's really interesting. We're also following a second perspective, which is this like young man who is trying to do the best by his people, and his stepfather is actually trying to court the main girl in this book. But it's very obvious from, I feel like, the first meeting that our two characters are actually going to fall for each other. His stepfather is like much older and he's only courting the main girl for her money. There's also this whole entire thing about like a thief kingdom and a thief king that I don't even really know how to explain, but it's so enjoyable and I'm really, really enjoying this. And I'm happy that I'm enjoying all 3 books that I'm currently reading. Hi, it's Thursday. I haven't talked to you since Monday. Half my week is gone. It's been a crazy, crazy day, week, month, year at work, but this week has been crazier than normal. I have been doing actually a decent amount of reading in my free time, but I have been so busy that I have not been able to update you guys. So I actually forgot to update the board when I finished Dark Matter. I read it for book before, on my TBR before 2021. So I'm taking that off. I haven't finished anything else, so nothing else is going to be removed, but I think I'm about to successfully finish Don't Buy a Book for a week. I'll have to go back and look at the last time I bought a book. So on Tuesday I did start and finish a book, but it doesn't fit onto my TBR. And if you watched last Friday's video, you know that I read Cinder in one day. And since it doesn't fit on the board, it's going on to my shelf of these books don't fit prompts, and if I read 5 of them, I'm allowed to buy a book, which as of right now, I have 3 and I'm adding Cinder, so I have 4. So I only need to read 1 more book that doesn't fit a prompt in order to buy a book. I've read Glint, Little Heavens, The Wicked King, and Cinder, in case you're super curious. Books that I have been making progress on. The Shadow of What Was Lost, I'm over 50% through it right now. I am actually on page 420, which needs to be celebrated because it's hilarious and because it's progress that I've made. I'm really enjoying my reread. I'm at the point where James Islington is like really getting twisty and turny and like lying to you and pointing out the fact that he's lying to you, because he lies to you through the entire book, but you don't start to realize it until about halfway through, and it's just fantastic. I haven't read any more of Oathbringer. I think I read like 1 more chapter of Oathbringer actually, but I am planning on reading some more of that today and tomorrow. And then I haven't read any more of The Song of the Forever Rains, but I am planning on reading that tonight and making a decent chunk through it. I wanted to finish that tomorrow. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I really am enjoying my read of it. It's just I am so busy that I can't spend time reading like I would like to. So once I finish those 3 books, that's pretty much it for my bingo board. I'm not going to worry about reading any more books off of this board because it'll be a ridiculous amount of bingos that I get this month if I read those 3. I think I'll have 1, 2, 3, 6, and I had 2 coming over from last month. Okay, actually, if you ignore those 3 that I just listed, I think I only need to read 1 or 2 more for Magical Readathon, and they are for my character, so I can actually read them after this month, so I'm not super worried about that. I'll read them in October. And then I need to read 1 more book for Book-Oplathon, and because bingo doesn't go from the first of the month to the first of the month, but Book-Oplathon does, I will just read that book, which is What Big Teeth, after I finish these 3 up hopefully this weekend. And the goal with Oathbringer, in case I haven't mentioned it in this video, is just to get to 50%, and I'm counting it for bingo and for Book-Oplathon, and for, well, Magical Readathon, I don't think I put it on the board, so that doesn't even matter. I'm sorry that I have been a poor vlogger this week. This coming weekend, though, I have a really fun big day planned with my mom and part of the day with my sister-in-law, so I will try to vlog as much of that as possible and get it into this so that there's actually some content for you to see and some B-roll for you to see. Welcome to Sunday. This is the last clip in this vlog. I'm so sorry this vlog has been a mess. I'm editing it right now and thinking back on how crazy my week was. And you know what? Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. And this week, one of the things that had to lose was this vlog. I also completely forgot to vlog anything yesterday after me and mom did our 5K. We came back here, we had breakfast, and then we painted all of the spots on the wall that had been mudded and hadn't been painted over, which feels great because it's feeling much more like my apartment is finished. And then we met up with my sister-in-law and went out to lunch. And then we went shopping for most of the day, and then we grabbed some pizzas and went back to my sister-in-law and brother's place. And they have my 2-year-old nephew, and they have a friend who's staying with them. So we had pizza and hung out and then went out and sat in their cul-de-sac and just like chilled and enjoyed the evening. And then I came home and promptly fell asleep at 9 p.m. I was very tired. I'm still very tired. So I have not read any more of Oathbringer. Oh, my voice sounds awful. I'm not sick. I just talked too much yesterday. Where I'm in the Shadows What Was Lost, I'm at page 44, which is page 525. I'd love to finish this today, but according to my book club schedule, we're supposed to finish it tomorrow. So if I just read, I have to read like half of yesterday's section, which I didn't get to, and then all of today's section. I'll be fine with that. It'll be chill. And then I'd also love to finish this. I'm at chapter 17, which is page 193. According to the audiobook, I think I have like 3 hours left in this, so I might not be able to do it. I might. It just kind of depends on how I'm going to be able to function all of today. That's where I'm at. I haven't finished any of the 3 books that I set out to accomplish this week, but it's fine because I do have all of next week to accomplish them. I will be playing TBR Bingo this afternoon at some point, so technically I like to say that as soon as I play TBR Bingo, that's it. I can't play anything else for the board, which means that these 2 plus Oathbringer wouldn't count towards them. But since I'm far enough along into all 3 of those books, there's still a whole week of September left. I'm gonna say it's fine and count them, so it's chill. I mean, I'm past 30% in all of them, and that's what I count for DNFs, so I'm gonna count them. It's just gonna take me a little bit longer to finish them, which means it does go a little bit into October's TBR, but I'm fine with that. Oh, it's upstairs. Do we want to go upstairs? Yeah, we want to go upstairs. Let's go. It's not there. Where's the book? So I did actually pick up What Big Teeth, and I'm not using a bookmark. I'm using the page thingies. That's how far I've made it. I've made it 3 chapters in. I'm not enjoying it though, and I honestly don't know if it's because I'm so busy that I don't have enough time to read, so that when I do read, I want to be absolutely loving what I'm reading, or if it's I'm loving what I'm reading down over there. So picking up something that I'm not absolutely in love with is kind of like not gonna compare to those things, or what I kind of suspect it is I am having a really hard time physically reading this week. I don't know what's going on with me. I haven't physically read a page this entire week. Everything that I have read and updated you on has been audiobooks. I don't know why. In August, I physically read so much and I was really happy with that. And then the first few weeks of September, I finished 2 or 3 books physically, which felt really good too. So I don't know if I'm just like burnt out of physical books or what, but I'm going to count this towards Bookopoly-thon because I wouldn't count this towards the board, so it's not going on bingo, but I can't really replace the prompt that it was for because it was lowest on TBR. If I have time, I'll try to make it to Witches of Ash and Ruin. If not, then I'm gonna say as long as I finish my other books for Bookopoly-thon, we're good. I don't need to like replace this one. Yeah, I have nothing else to say. Anyways, thank you for watching. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Let me know down below what you're currently reading. I'm sorry this vlog was so meh, but it was. I don't remember how my outro goes, but until next time, I'll talk to you in the comments. Bye.